the young and the restless spoilers. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today is a beautiful day, but things in Genoa City are absolutely dark, chaotic, and completely off the rails. We have some massive breaking news to discuss, and honestly, you might want to grab a strong cup of coffee for this one. Let's just dive straight into the madness. So the news of Dr. Lawrence Markham being arrested has been blowing up all over the place. And yeah, it is true. The guy is finally in police custody. But the way it happened, the cost of taking this absolute psychopath down, it is so much worse than any of us could have predicted. Because Jack Abbott is currently in the hospital fighting for his life after being stabbed in the stomach. I just need to take a second to process this because it is just crazy. Completely crazy. We all knew this Markham storyline was going to reach a boiling point, but I don't think any of the fans on social media expected Jack to go full action hero and end up bleeding out on the floor. Let's back up a little bit and look at how we got here. Because if you've been watching for the past few weeks, you know Jack has been pushed to the absolute brink. I mean, the man has been living a nightmare. First, his wife Diane goes missing for weeks, only to be found traumatized after being held hostage in a padded room by this creepy doctor. Then Patty Williams, who is just the definition of unhinged, starts blackmailing Jack for sex, using his family's safety as leverage. And on top of all that, Ashley is having a complete feral breakdown because Patty and Markham kidnapped Abby and Dominic. So Jack is surrounded by trauma. His wife is terrified. His sister is losing her mind. His nephew is missing. And the police, let's be real, Detective Burrow is basically useless at this point or doing absolutely nothing to stop it. And you know Jack, he's the patriarch. He is the protector of the Abbott family. He couldn't just sit around the mansion anymore while his loved ones were being tortured. Tracy was supposed to be the one taking the risk, right? A few episodes ago, we saw Tracy planning to reach out to Martin Laurent, risking her own safety to find a connection to Markham. But I guess Jack just couldn't let his sweet sister put herself in the line of fire. He had to take matters into his own hands. So Jack tracks down Markham's house. The very same house where Diane was kept like a prisoner. The house filled with all those weird Alain Laurent books. And honestly, what was he thinking going in there alone? Why do people in Genoa City never call for backup? It's a classic soap trope, I know, but it still makes you want to scream at the screen. But at the same time, I get it. The rage he must have been feeling, the pure, unfiltered Abbott rage. He walks into that house, and there is Markham just standing there, probably looking all smug and arrogant, the way these soap villains always do right before they get what's coming to them, and Jack just completely loses it. We don't have all the exact dialogue yet, but you can just imagine the scene. Peter Bergman is an absolute legend, and when he gets to play angry, desperate Jack, it is always Emmy-worthy material. Jack probably demanded to know where Abby and Dominic were. He probably screamed at Markham for what he did to Diane. And Markham, being the sick psychopath he is, probably just laughed or said something incredibly triggering. And that was it. Jack snapped. He lunged at him. We are talking about a full-on physical brawl. Jack is not a young man anymore, but adrenaline is a crazy thing. Plus, he's fighting for his family. So they are brawling, crashing into furniture, smashing things. It's messy. It's violent. It's not some choreographed action movie fight. It's just two desperate men trying to destroy each other. And Jack actually gets the upper hand. He manages to overpower this guy. He wrestles him down and tries to tie him up. I guess he was planning to hold him hostage himself, or maybe tie him up and then call the cops to come collect the trash. He's got the ropes, he's securing him, and for a split second you probably think, wow, Jack actually did it. He beat the villain, but this is the young and the restless. They are not going to let it end that easily. While Jack is trying to secure the knots, Markham does the unthinkable. He manages to get a hand free, or maybe he already had it hidden in his pocket. He pulls out a knife, and just like that, without any warning, he plunges it right into Jack's stomach. Just boom, a knife in the gut. The shock of that moment must have been insane. Imagine Jack's face, the sudden burning pain, stumbling backward, looking down at his stomach, seeing the blood starting to soak through his shirt. And there is so much blood. Stomach wounds are notoriously messy and dangerous. Jack collapses. The adrenaline completely drains out of him, replaced by just pure agony and shock. And Markham, he probably just lay there on the floor, panting and smiling that sick, twisted smile, watching the great Jack Abbott bleed out on his floor. Thank God the police finally showed up. Maybe Tracy realized Jack was missing and called Burrow. Or maybe a neighbor heard the crashing and called 911. Whatever happened, the cops bust through the door. They find the scene. It's a total bloodbath. They immediately arrest Markham. They slap the cuffs on him. And the spoilers say the news of his arrest is spreading fast. But honestly, who even cares that Markham is in handcuffs when Jack is literally dying on the floor? The paramedics rush in. They load Jack onto a stretcher. The sirens are wailing. They speed off to Genoa City Memorial Hospital. And now Jack is in critical condition. So let's talk about the fallout, because the ripple effects of this are going to be massive. I mean, absolutely earth-shattering for the entire canvas. First of all, Diane, poor, fragile Diane. She has been paranoid and terrified ever since she escaped that house. She has been jumping at shadows, terrified that Markham was going to come back and finish the job. And now, the love of her life, the man who was supposed to protect her, has been gutted by the very monster she was hiding from. This might completely break her. We might see Diane revert to her darkest, most manipulative self out of pure grief and anger, or she might just completely shatter into a million pieces. And what about Kyle? Oh, man. Kyle is going to go completely nuclear. Think about it. Kyle already made a highly dangerous secret deal with Patty Williams in jail to get revenge on Victor Newman. He is already playing with fire. Claire warned him. She explicitly told him not to mess around with this stuff, but Kyle didn't listen. And now his father has been stabbed by Patty's partner in crime. Is Kyle going to blame Patty? Is he going to realize that getting in bed with these psychos was the biggest mistake of his life? Or is he going to double down? Maybe he blames Victor somehow, twisting the logic in his grief-stricken brain. Kyle is a loose cannon right now, and seeing his dad hooked up to machines in the ICU is going to push him right over the edge. Then there is Ashley. My God, Ashley. She was forced to come back from Paris, her safe haven, only to have her daughter Abby and her grandson Dominic kidnapped by these lunatics. She was already having a feral breakdown. She was screaming, crying, vowing revenge. And now her brother, the rock of the Abbott family, is bleeding out. Ashley is going to turn into an absolute weapon. I wouldn't be surprised if she tries to march into the police station and shoot Markham herself. Eileen Davidson is going to act the absolute house down in these hospital scenes. I can already tell you that. And Tracy, sweet, beautiful Tracy, she is going to be the one holding everyone together, but she is going to be breaking inside. She was the one who was supposed to take the risk. She might feel this overwhelming guilt, thinking that if she had just gone to Martin Laurent sooner, Jack wouldn't have gone rogue. The guilt is going to eat her alive. But we also have to talk about the Newman side of town. How is Victor going to react to this? Victor and Jack have hated each other for decades. They have tried to destroy each other, steal each other's companies, and ruin each other's lives. But there is also this weird, twisted, underlying respect between them. When Victor hears that Jack walked into a psycho's house alone to fight for his family and took a knife to the gut. I don't know, maybe I'm being too optimistic, but I think Victor might actually respect that. I mean, Victor would have done the exact same thing if it was Nikki or Victoria in danger. He wouldn't have waited for the cops either. But at the same time, Victor is ruthless. He might see the Abbott family in complete disarray, Jack in a coma, Kyle acting like a lunatic, Ashley having a breakdown and decide this is the perfect time to strike and take over Jabbett. It sounds cold, but it's Victor Newman. You can never put anything past him. Plus, Victor is currently busy plotting his own massive revenge against Matt Clark and Phyllis Summers, so maybe he'll just view the Abbott tragedy as a convenient distraction for the police while he handles his own dirty work. And let's zoom out for a second and look at the bigger picture here. The writers are really not holding back right now. Jamie Giddens and Dan O'Connor are clearly trying to inject some serious, high-stakes drama back into the show. For a long time, fans on social media were complaining that the show was just people drinking coffee at Crimson Lights and having endless corporate meetings about podcasts and fashion lines. But now, we have kidnapping, we have padded cells, we have a legacy character getting stabbed in the stomach in a bloody brawl. We have Nick Newman checking into rehab for a fentanyl addiction. We have Phyllis removing ankle monitors. It is messy, it is dark, and it is exactly the kind of soapy goodness we have been begging for. I just hope they don't rush the recovery. Sometimes in soaps, a character gets shot or stabbed, and 2 days later they are sitting at the GCAC eating a salad like nothing happened. Jack needs to be in that hospital bed for a while. We need to see the family agonize. We need to see the tearful monologues at his bedside. We need Kyle to break down and confess his secret deal with Patty while holding his dad's unconscious hand. And what happens to Markham now? He's in custody, sure. But guys like him don't just sit quietly in a cell. He's going to manipulate the system. He's probably going to demand to see Patty. And we still don't even know for 100% certainty if Markham is actually Martin Laurent with a new face. That theory is still floating around, and if it's true, the police have a whole different kind of monster on their... If it is Martin, he's going to play mind games with everyone. He might refuse to give up Abby and Dominic's location unless Tracy comes to visit him. Oh my God, can you imagine? Tracy having to sit across from the man who stabbed her brother, begging for the lives of her niece and great-nephew. That would be incredible television. Honestly, I am just so exhausted from keeping up with all these twists, but I am also so invested. The stakes haven't felt this real in years. Jack Abbott's life is literally hanging in the balance. The Abbott family is completely fractured, and the villains are playing for keeps. I'm going to be watching the hospital scenes with a box of tissues, that's for sure. Peter Bergman has given us so many incredible moments over the years, and seeing Jack so vulnerable, so broken, is going to be tough to watch. But it's also going to pull some amazing performances from Susan Walters, Michael Mealer, and Eileen Davidson. So, what do you guys think? Is Jack going to pull through quickly, or are we looking at a long, painful coma storyline? Do you think Kyle is going to snap and do something he regrets? And where the hell are Abby and Dominic? The police have Markham. They need to sweat him until he gives up the location. Because if Ashley gets her hands on him before the cops get the truth, Markham might not make it to trial. It is just wild. Absolutely wild. A knife to the stomach. I still can't get over it. We will be keeping a close eye on all the updates, the spoiler pictures, and the daily episodes to see how this all shakes out. Make sure you are tuning in because you do not want to miss a single second of this fallout. The Abbott family will never be the same after this.